Thank you for watching this short presentation, Transition Planning for Municipal Managers. I'm Warren Rutherford. As a former town manager in several communities, I've seen the personal benefit of developing a transition plan. You may not be planning to leave your position in the next year, but doesn't it still make sense to plan for it? I hope after this presentation you will as well. As a town or city manager or administrator, our professional and personal lives are often associated with our role. When we decide that we want to move on from the role, to transition, some of us transition well and some of us do not. I would expect there have been times when you were with family and friends, went for a walk, or just went shopping and someone reminded you of your job. One common term used in our profession is life in a fishbowl. Well, depending on what you decide to do after you leave your position, you may still be in that fishbowl. Researchers also call this a fused identity, where the personal and professional roles are fused together almost all the time. Leaving behind that identity can be a challenge for some. I believe that a successful transition requires separating your professional roles from who you are as a person. Yogi Berra once said, "If you see a fork in the road, take it." Of course, he was only thinking of two forks. You now have three choices. Do you want to choose the rutted path to the right and not plan your retirement, or worse yet, die at your desk? Or do you want to choose the path to the left and have a boring, meaningless, traditional retirement? Or are you interested in a third path? If so, I challenge you to choose the path in the middle, a dynamic, purposeful new future that we call the platinum years. When I work with clients in the development of personal transition plans, I have them work on a series of exercises. One of these is the identity exercise, and here are a few questions from that workshop. Please take a few moments to think about your answers to these three questions. Great. Next, let's look at some data prepared by the Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies. In this slide, some of the data indicates 14% of boomers have a written strategy for retirement. Are you part of the 14% or the 86%? The fact is, most boomers have not yet begun any type of transition planning. The older we get, the more likely we say that we will work into our retirement years. In this graphic, 65% they say they will. As I look back on my career and think, in the first third of my life, I planned my career. In the second third, I worked the plan. And in the last third of my life, I developed a plan and am following it. Planning in our profession is normal, yet planning for the time after our profession is often overlooked. In this presentation, I've used the term transition several times. Let's look at what it means. Moving from an old state or condition to a new one requires ending the old, and that transition begins by ending the old. Between the ending of the old and the beginning of the new, there is an unknown area, often called the neutral zone, the wilderness, or the transition zone. A successful transition requires successful passage through the neutral zone, and successful passage through the neutral zone requires a sound plan. Here's another exercise I use. Take a few moments to think of two transitions you've experienced in your life. Think of the event, the age you were, or the year it happened, and what you learned from it. Would you agree that you can learn from each of your life transitions? I don't know about you, but I've not been too excited about entering the golden years. Maybe it's because the term reminds me too much of my parents' retirement. A time to relax, golf, garden, do nothing, well, sometimes. Like the bumper sticker, no clock, no boss, no paycheck, perhaps no self-worth. And having grown up on Dr. Seuss, I have to ask, how do you like your green prunes and bran? Okay, here's my last exercise. These represent 2 of the 50 questions you'd answer in our program. The answers to these and the other questions can be quite revealing and honest, as they should be. Take a moment to think about your response to each. We now have the opportunity to define the last third of our lives by creating a personal transition plan into the platinum years. Let me give you a bit better description of what that means. The Successful Transition Planning Institute's Transition Planning System helps you find the clarity, opportunities, meaning, and purpose you need while you're designing your transition strategies, during the implementation process, and in your new life after you've left your role as a town or city manager or administrator. Let's set your transition planning compass to achieve clarity, explore new opportunities, find new meaning in your life, and discover a new sense of purpose. The Living with Purpose program applies a logical, step-by-step methodology which allows you to think more broadly and deeply and expand your mind to what's possible. The comprehensive 7-step program builds a solid foundation for the next third of your life. It facilitates making successful and satisfying lifestyle choices and provides you the framework for creating a deliberate, well-thought-out game plan for your life. The goals of the workshop are to help you feel more comfortable thinking about and planning for the challenge of leaving your career and moving beyond your full-time work identity, helping you become aware of the many new possibilities available for creating a personally fulfilling new life, helping you expand your thinking about who you are, what's important to you, and what you can do, and helping you get in touch with your deeper feelings about what's important to you and really what you want to do in your new life. The Living with Purpose workshop helps you define the 10 life aspects to determine how you can develop a purposeful life after your full-time career as a town or city manager and administrator. Over a 2-day period, I'll help you develop a personal transition plan for your physical health, intellectual stimulation, recreational and creative activities, activities with spouse, partner, and family members, your place of residence, your social connections, spirituality and faith, and income-producing and volunteer philanthropic activity. At the conclusion of the workshop, you'll have developed your own personal transition plan. As I mentioned in the beginning, you may not be planning to leave your position now, but doesn't it make sense to develop a plan that you can use when you do decide to leave? This 2-day workshop is designed to help you, along with other managers and administrators, develop that plan for the last third of your life. You'll spend approximately 6 hours each day completing all of these workshop exercises. Thanks for taking the time to review this brief presentation. I'll follow up with you to discuss your interests in participating in this workshop, or, if you prefer, a one-to-one session with me. We can discuss logistics at that time, including location, timing, and, of course, the fee for participating. If I don't get the opportunity to connect with you, or if you have further questions, please email or call me at wjr@theexecutivesuite.com or 508-778-7700. I look forward to working with you as you define your platinum years. Thank you.